Chat. This is By the Book, and we're your married relationship coaches. I'm Seth.
I'm Sel.
And today we're talking about Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 15. Sorry about missing last week, y'all, but it's like that sometimes. Anyway, we're back to talking about Emily and Brennan, and I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about them because, like I've said for the past few times that we've covered them, even having missed last week, we're saying the same stuff over and over again. We don't know what's going on with Brennan. We don't know exactly why he's not attracted to her. We saw last week, it seemed like he didn't like her being the life of the party. We kind of got that inclination anyway. This week they have a new idea where they're going to have a talking paddle or whatever, and they hand it back and forth, and he still ends up interrupting her to say, do you really want to talk about this? And I mean, at this point, just call it quits. I mean, and I've said this for weeks now. I don't see the point, and I think it's unfortunate to see her not, for me, be prepared to just throw in the towel, because it gets more and more and more uncomfortable to watch her, no matter which expert they're sitting with, not be able to express herself comfortably. It's like we're looking at a fearful person each time that she has this conversation. And you don't have to be physically beaten to be being abused, and that's her behavior speaks of an abused person
Emotionally.
You know, even in her confessional prior to Pastor Cal showing up, she's saying, you know, I want to make sure I don't say the wrong thing. I even think she said that in front of Brennan. You know, she's very careful, because in this relationship she doesn't have any leverage. He's got everything is in his court.
True.
You know, he calls the shots. He tells her what they're going to do, what they're not going to do, what of the experts' suggestions he's going to try, which ones he's not, which ones he wants to modify. And she's just along for the ride. Why? Because she doesn't want to rock the boat in a way that's going to make him call it quits, because she still wants to finish out, I guess, the 8 weeks, or she wants a long-term marriage. I don't know what she's expecting to get out of this, but she isn't getting anything. As the young folks say, it's not giving what it's supposed to give right now. Not at all, Emily. So, yeah, I want to see her walk away, and I'm sick, quite frankly, of looking at them over and over do the same thing. I mean, I don't know if Married at First Sight is just making them hang on because this is the worst season of all seasons, or what. But I'm tired of looking at them. I think I'm tired of talking about them too.
Yeah, it is hard to watch week in and week out, and to hope for something better, knowing you're gonna get the same thing over and over again, as just been saying. And more than that, you see a woman who is under some type of duress. I don't think it's physical, like you said, but it's definitely emotional, and it could be some type of a verbal
and psychological.
Psychological, it's something going on within that relationship that I think the experts are just negligent for leaving her in that situation. And I don't know. Maybe I need to talk to my wife. Does she have a lawsuit for Married at First Sight for them leaving her in a possible abusive relationship? Whether, like you said, psychological, mental, emotional, is something, because they're obviously coming into this household. They obviously are watching the video back, because they are very up to date on what's going on behind those walls when they walk in there. And so why, for God's sake, why are you leaving her in this situation with this man who obviously could not care less about her?
And he keeps telling her that he cares. And I think that's the thing. I think you see that in real life situations. Not that this isn't real life, but you know, it's hard for me to regard it as such. But you see that in real life situations all the time where, hold on for a second, quick baby break. All right, guys, sorry for the baby break. But what I was saying is, I think even in regular relationships, whatever the case may be, I think that you see men kind of breadcrumb women. And what I mean by that, just giving them just a little bit, just enough to keep them on the hook. And I think in this case, I hate to accuse Brennan of being this manipulative, but honestly, at this point, I don't see any other explanation for him where he's telling Emily, you know, I really like you. I really think she's a good person. You know, he's saying just enough to make her say, well, there must be something there. She's hanging on to whatever she thought that they had at the beginning. And I know a lot of you guys have said it seemed like it was fine at the beginning.
I thought so.
And that's fine, but what do we have now? What has he shown her for the past several weeks? It's pretty much been the same. Wash, rinse, repeat. It's the same thing. So at this point, I wish that he would let her off the hook, not tell her that he likes her so much and he thinks she's like one of the greatest people he's ever met. Because obviously that's not the case. And the reason I guess I say that too is because you could feel like that about a friend. He's trying to dial it all the way back to the friend zone, which I think is a mistake. And I think the experts are making a big mistake in even allowing them to walk that path.
I don't know how they stop them from doing that. They have voiced their concerns about them doing that.
Just kick them off the show, man. Because that's not what this show is. You're
Pastor
not
Cal
going
says that this isn't, you know, friend at first sight. So
you got to go.
Exactly. If you're not gonna go in, you know, go in with the process, then what's the point?
Yeah,
you're wasting everybody's time.
But I mean, all I'm saying is that, just to finish off my point, is that you could think that a friend of yours is the best person in the world, but you don't have a romantic inclination toward them. But he doesn't think that. He doesn't want to be her friend. If he met her outside of this process, I don't think he would be her friend or her boyfriend, and certainly not her husband. And that's okay. While he's trying to save face and look as best he can for the camera, he's looking worse and worse and worse, and he's giving me nothing I can defend him with. So, I mean, I don't know what to say.
Well, what did you think about Pastor Cal introducing the whole video?
I like that. Was my favorite part. My husband and I talked about that immediately after they did it, because that's one of the first things I saw that the experts did that I think was valuable. And if you watch it back, Brennan was into that. You know, he said maybe he just liked seeing himself on camera, but even when Emily was talking, he seemed to enjoy that part too.
Yeah.
And I think if he were able to be introspective enough, rather than just say what he thinks should be said, he could see how he wasn't living up to what his interview self said that he was, or that he was looking for.
Yeah.
Emily was the one who came off looking good because she was consistent.
Yes.
And he was the one who came off looking, at the very least, I would say,
disingenuous,
not self-aware.
Oh, okay, that's another one.
Yeah, maybe a few steps worse than that is the disingenuousness. But so what good did that do? While I thought it was a nice exercise, did it have any impact on him? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. So I mean, it's hard to watch Emily not have her voice with him and then watch the after party and she has her voice for everybody else. That cracks me up. And you guys told us, I don't know, it may have been 2 episodes ago that you guys told us to go back and watch the after party, and we did, and it was funny. I didn't take her for being like as villainous, I think, as some might have. I think that she went into all of these after parties kind of as a voice for Becca. Either they're really close friends, or she just told Becca, hey, I don't have anything to lose. I'll just go out and go in on Austin and let him know how you feel, because she seems to be quite an advocate for Becca, and she doesn't have a hard time asking the hard questions, even though she never was able to speak up for herself. Maybe she's found her voice because she knows she should have spoken up for herself more.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, let us know what you think about that, because I don't think Emily's the bad guy here.
I don't think so.
I don't. Even seeing her in the after party, even seeing her kind of have a little back and forth with Keisha, I didn't take her for trying to be disrespectful or anything like that. I think she's sticking it to Austin like a good homegirl would.
Yeah.
But, maybe saying a little bit too much, maybe drinking a little bit too much. I don't know. But overall, I still don't get a very negative impression of her. I just wish that she could have had a little bit more of her voice during, at least up until this point, during what we've seen in the show. If she gets it later, we'll see. But so far, I'm not seeing that from her. And I want her to hold Brennan accountable.
Well, first of all, with the after party, I don't think they should ever do another after party without Emily. Period. I don't care if this is 10 seasons from now. I don't care. Keep her on the after party. I love Keisha Knight for you. Hey, that's Rudy Huxtable for me. But hey, I don't think she does a really good job. But I think having Emily there as the foil, my goodness, it's good TV to watch. To be honest with you, it's so entertaining because she does speak the truth and she does hold to being accountable. And it's just to watch Austin squirm. And she's
calling
it out. I mean, the questions are just like, boom, right in your face. Why won't you have sex with your wife? And it's just like, well, Keisha Knight Pulliam will kind of like trying to work her way around to getting to this answer. No, that ain't good enough for Emily. Emily like, you're a man, she's a woman. Why don't you have sex? That's your wife, And it's just like, oh my goodness, and I'm just I gotta sit forward to really like, whoa, she's throwing bombs. She's like the Cat Williams of Married at First Sight.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's talk more about that when we talk about Becca and Austin.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that was a good question. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that at the end when we cover that part. Anyway, for now, just drop your comments below about Emily and Brennan. Are y'all as sick of them as we are? Y'all got anything left to say about her or him?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, why are they here? It's like they're just taking up space. At this point, Married at First Sight might as well just make it all about Michael and Chloe. And close the door on everybody else because it's a waste.
Yeah. So. Yeah, this season is definitely a bust. But it's been a bust for a while. They have not retooled and redone the show the way they need to. And so they're basically reaping the harvest, the fruits of that. They've been going after the low-hanging stuff and trying to get people together as far as for ratings,
The experts need to get paid based upon their success rate. I bet you it'd be a whole different ball game.
I love it. I've even heard, like with the after party, someone suggested that they need to have the experts earn their dollars and get on the after party.
Oh yeah,
and
that would be good.
have to explain, why did you put these people together? Why did you say this to such and such, but not say this to the other person? I think
they would throw them underneath the bus and be like, well, they told us this and they lied and yada yada. But anyway, we digress. Just drop those comments below, guys. Let's talk about it. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will all talk to you soon. Bye.